Welcome back to another episode of Eliza. I'm RozaldVane, and welcome to another episode. In the last episode, we were dealing with our first client of the day, and she ended up going into transparency mode, and we're basically understanding the situation of the old lady that we met earlier on in the series, of course, very slightly early on. But yeah, I mean, that's all we had, and then we had to talk to Ray to kind of consult her about how we feel about the whole situation. And then the Rainer suggested that we're going to be seeing more of some of the modes that was hidden to other proxies that we'll be getting like special treatment to the next mode that they kind of have hidden. I'm guessing this is the final mode of the game, but we'll see. Or the whole like idea of Eliza. Maybe future Eliza counseling centers could point struggling people to community resources, local rent assistance programs, things like that. Things have to be something. There has to be something we can do. There we go. No, I read it weirdly there. Something to see before I go to headquarters again. I wonder what Rainer was talking about. Oh, I see. Yeah, but we're going to have to head off to Rainer's office again to see what he has to show us. I wish I'd known more about her situation beforehand. Not that I could have changed anything. Okay. Alright, let's see what the mails are. I'm probably... Oh, Soren again. Meeting with Rainer. Oh, God. It begins. Venture post exclusive. Eliza creator raises cash for top VCs for hot new direct simulation startup. The man behind Skanda's most popular virtual counseling app, Eliza, is up to something new, and top venture capital firms are listening. Aponia is the new Seattle startup helmed by Dr. Soren. Lloyd Rose, the chief psychologist and project lead for Eliza at Skanda. It has raised $26.2 million from investors, including Wellspring Ventures, Song and Lagerholm, and Xiamen Capital. Bay Area-based Wellspring invested in Aponia via its Continuum Fund, which supports startups developing technologies to support and improve mental wellness. I was going to say healthness. I was like, what? We find Soren's unique brain-fast approach to mental health extremely compelling. Walter Rakoich, partner at Wellspring, told Venture Post. He's already redefined what it means to seek support for mental wellness once. We think he'll do it again. Aponia isn't revealing details about its technology yet, but Lloyd Rose himself has said we would be revealing more details soon, quote unquote soon. When he announced the venture at One Mind 2.0 last month, the technology is real and working in prototype form already, he said. Wait, it's been a month? It didn't feel like a month. It just felt like one day. But that's kind of strange. I never knew that it was like whole months of things happening that just passed by us, I guess. Yeah, it's not even a month yet. Game, why did you... What? He didn't announce it on a month ago, did he? Yeah, I think they're inconsistent here, I think. Yeah, I think they timed it out inconsistently because it hasn't been a month yet. It's only been a week since we started this game, or 2 weeks, I guess, since we started this game. Evelyn, Rainer would like to speak to you again. I have scheduled a meeting for 4:35 p.m. today. As before, a car will come pick you up. Okay. Alright, let's continue it, I guess. I got nothing else to do anyways. Looks like I have one more transparency mode to do today. Really? I'll get that out of the way before I meet with Rainer again. Okay, so we're just doing one more thing. We're doing one more thing before going into Skanda again. I'm thinking this is Damien. No, it's Soren. But why is Soren here? I definitely don't want to see what might be in his photos. I don't think I can look at this. This is probably a bunch of ratings and tasting notes. Is that a fashion label? I wonder why he has the proxy app. And why is Soren actually opening up for transparency mode? Okay, he has 9 things in total, I guess. Oh, he talked to Nora way before us, I think. Alright, here we go. Your show was great, just wanted to say. Hi, Soren, thanks. Had a wild night? Not the wildest night I've ever had. But up there, definitely feeling pain in muscles I didn't know I had. Yeah, we are getting older. Oh, that's fair. That's not fair at all. I'm far older than you. Besides, you look fantastic. Your beauty... Oh, God, this guy's trying to hit on her in the middle of the text. Oh, this guy is so weird. Your beauty has only grown since the days we worked together. Sorry if that's inappropriate. Lol, Soren. Frailer than I used to be, but the fire's never been gone out. Still, need to get out and do something bacchanalian from time to time. Yeah, I was a little surprised to see you there. I convinced Evelyn to come too, you know. Don't think she'd have gone either otherwise. Aw, thanks. You're welcome. I know you fancy her. Don't you? Sure I do. Everyone likes Evelyn. But that's not how you term fancy, right? Like, if you fancy someone, it means she's into that person. Like, they're, like, in love or wants a relationship with. Some sort of relationship with. Sorry, I'm just listening in on something. I miss you. I know you don't miss me. Oh, that's not true. I know not to trust your words like that. Then why say anything? Because it's true, I miss you. I want to see you again. Well, you know how to find me. Yeah, I know. I'll schedule something again soon. I can't believe I do this. Sometimes I hate myself so much. Is Nikki some sort of, like, side chick that he has? Sarah, I'm guessing this is his daughter. Hey, what are you up to? Or his ex-wife, maybe. I've always really admired you. I never told you that before, but that's true. You work with Rainer, and... Oh, this is the assistant. Rainer's assistant. I remember. This guy is really hitting on any girl he finds. You work with Rainer and put up with him every day. That takes a lot of work, I know. Your talents are wasted in that job. You deserve so much more. Hi, Soren. Are you drunk? Haha, maybe. I'm not lying, though. Don't you want more than in your life than to be someone's secretary? You're intelligent. Rainer is not exactly an easy boss to work with. I'm sure you know that. I should. Excuse me. My throat is just like trying to like seal me off from speaking further. I sure do. Let me take you out sometime. We can trade stories, war stories. Is she really a... Okay. I know I have a reputation, but that's with people I don't respect. I respect you. It's different. Ask me again when you're sober. Okay, I will. I think he is sober. She just doesn't get it. Who the heck? You're around, so you're ignoring me. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I've been under a lot of stress. These business dimwits are driving me crazy. I should have realized they just grind you down. Oh, is that his business partner, maybe? Potentially. Oh, they're all, like, one-on-one emails, it looks like. Oh, this is Wellsprings. Yeah, we saw an article that showed that he got the funding, right? Soren, the problem here is not that we think it impairs you. You've clearly demonstrated to us that whatever your process is, that it's working and generating great results. What we're concerned with is optics, really. How it would look to those on the outside if it were to become known that there is a drinking culture, or something similar to... Oh, they're afraid of his drinking culture. His reputation precedes the company itself or the project itself. You know, as well as we do, how rumors and hearsay can spread out of control and ignite a firestorm on social media, which is something we are keen to avoid. I hear you are responsible use of alcohol, and also about how most antidepressants don't even come close to in terms of their immediate action. Believe me, I've been there with myself. What Walter and I are saying is simply to be careful, to not be so cavalier about the kind of things not only in the public sphere, reporters, conferences, etc., but in front of your new hires as well. I see, so people are concerned for him. Anya. Soren, we can do this one of two ways. We can either work together, as you suggest, and stay professional colleagues forever. If you think you can really do that, I have my doubts. Or we can simply go our separate ways. There are plenty of places for us to carve out a space of our own in this industry without us running into each other much. despite that you like to say about destiny and threads of fate. I'm laying this out for you as a clear binary choice, so you can make concrete decisions about it. AM. Wait, is that? No, it's not Anya. I thought Andrea was Anya for some reason. Oh, this is the daughter, I think. No, Dad, just no. You're supposed to be a genius who developed all these great applications for mental health. Have you even considered you might need a therapist yourself? Oh, so that's probably why he's here in Eliza. Heather. PR. Whoa. I like how they use MSNBC just like nonchalantly. Dr. Lloyd Rose. I understand you have some concerns about the way your interview went on MSNBC last week. Reviewing the footage, I believe there are a few successful tactics we can deploy to mitigate the potential negatives and ensure you receive only the kind of attention you are interested in getting going forward. I am hoping that you might be able to make sure time out of your, no doubt, very busy schedule to sit down with us and solidify a strategic communications plan to you and Aponia, including key messages, reputation building activities, and executive media training with the pair, blah, blah, blah. The end goal will be to be able to trust us to manage your media. It's basically PR talk, even though this is a PR company. I just realized it's just like, this feels like a PR talk, but it's like, it's actually a PR company trying to PR their way into his life. Hi, Dark Horse. Most people come to the seminar with a partner in order to practice and learn their model, and I think that is definitely the most valuable way to attend. There have been other people on their own who just sat in on the session and found it worthwhile, but there is a big difference between watching the ties being done and practicing them on a real person. Another arrangement to consider is a three-person group where 2 riggers take turns practicing on the model. If you are able to arrange that. To answer your second question, yes, you must bring your own rope. Oh, he wants to learn how to hike. I think that's what this is for. I think that's to help him hike. Overall, Soren is unhappy. I don't think that's true. It doesn't sound like any of this is showing his depression. It just shows his attempting to connect to others. Yeah, that's true. Soren's attempts to connect with others are unsuccessful. For the most part, yes. For the littlest parts, no. Like, he's connecting with Nora just fine. This is like a totally fine thing. Nikki, same thing. He fails to connect with these two, obviously, but he didn't fail to connect these two, so that's like a 50-50 there. On email, however, Maya, or not Maya, I see M and then Anya, and I was thinking Maya in my head. Anya, on the other hand, I think this is a coworker. She's like saying, what the fuck are you doing, dude? We gotta stay professional if we were gonna continue working together, or we can go our separate ways and never see each other again, kind of thing. So that's probably what this email's for. Which is not to connect with others, but whatever. He is trying to connect with his daughter, but that's a failure right here. So that is that for sure. Yeah, and then also maybe the hiking could be considered like trying to connect with others but failing a little bit. Yeah, I guess that's probably what it is. Okay. Is he unhappy? That's the hard part because none of it seems like he is. Like, it's really well hidden. Like, he's hiding his unhappiness under himself, and we can't tell that. I would disagree that he is unhappy, because it doesn't seem like any of it is showing that. And I don't see it in the email, I don't see it in the chat especially. It just seems kind of like he's just... The only time he ever seems kind of seen unhappy is, like, through here. Like, right here. But that's it. Like, that's the only one I can see right off the bat that shows that he's unhappy. Like, he's just frustrated, rather. Yeah, maybe I'll just say agree for now, because it says sometimes I hate myself so much. It's like, here and here, Andrea and Nikki's conversation kind of shows that, but I don't think there's, like, overall unhappiness coming off of Soren. It just seems kind of like a 50-50 again. So, I mean, this is a hard one to kind of label. I'll just say yeah, he's unhappy. Considering that we also talked to him before. This isn't a coincidence. It can't be. At the Skanda headquarters building, Rainer's assistant leads me into a different elevator than last time. So they have like a hidden elevator. Sorry, I just want to see the time. It's located at the end of a long corridor protected by multiple keycard swipes. Inside the elevator smoothly ramps up speed as we stand silently. I kind of wish I could talk to this lady, Sarah, if I remember right, but I'm not sure what I would say. She's not looking at me, she's looking off into the distance somehow, even though it's an elevator and the wall is right there. Elevator rides really are awkward, aren't they? I have the sense that if I tried to say something friendly, I'd be met with stony silence. I was going to say story silence. Or if I asked a sincere question, she would just deflect it. Fair. Oh, this is actually his office.
Ah, Evelyn. Would you like some tea?
I'm fine.
I'm fine, thanks. Why did you show me Soren's phone?
It's not a surprise anymore these days, is it? A man who enjoys society's respect behaves poorly in his private life? We accept that as common today. Maybe even uninteresting. But would you really be okay working with someone like him?
I was not planning to ever work with him either.
That was a huge violation of his privacy. You really don't care about others.
Ooh.
Privacy. Everyone's worried about privacy. Skanda wouldn't be where it is today if our customers didn't trust us to protect their data.
So he's saying that Soren trusted them to protect this data. That's kind of weird. All right, let me clear my nose and then we'll continue this. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Thank you for sitting through a cut. I mean, it's not like I like literally left it running in the back. Usually, sometimes if I forget, I usually try to re-upload. But anyways, the point is, I'm back.
We employ most, if not all, of the top experts in cybersecurity. It's built into all of our products right from the beginning. Unlike our competitors, we do more to protect our data than anyone else.
But you see, there comes a point where mistakes will happen, and this guy keeps thinking that he's always golden from or super protected by privacy, but that is never going to happen forever. Like, eventually it will be the downfall of this company. Skanda is going to get destroyed because of the fact that they keep thinking that they're the most secure company in the world, which is, again, you like here it is. When it comes to technology, one, if you have built-in security mechanisms that you build into your apps in the beginning, or the whatever technology you have, like the software and stuff, great. But don't turn it open source and be sorry about the fact that your security got bypassed because some hacker showed up with a way to figure out how to get around your security measures, because you literally have your security measures as part of a thing you released by accident with Eliza. So I have a feeling that Rainer is going to pull the dumbest move by putting this open source, because Erlen did say that Eliza was going to go open sourced, but at the same time, open source means that this thing kind of opens up like a can of worms for people to just see, and then they can just steal a bunch of crazy things off of it, which is not good too. Anyways.
That's not the case I'm worried about right now. I mean, misuse from the inside. For example, if someone wanted to keep tabs on a former employee who was starting a potential competitor.
Oh, but what if it was perfectly legal, due to multiple agreements that the good Dr. Lloyd Rose signed with us when he came here? Are you done questioning me like a tech journalist?
No.
Do you watch my therapy sessions too?
Yeah, he does.
Do you read my email? My texts?
No, I haven't done any of those things.
Lies.
How's your research into Eliza proxy use cases going? Any new insights to share?
He's lying. I feel like he's seeing results, but he's seeing it differently. You can treat your contractors better. I mean, the contractors aren't getting abused or anything, if anything. I think, if anything, these two are the best words to choose right now. Like, I don't see any mistreatment, though, in the proxies. I think, if anything, it's between the world suffering or I'm not sure it's really helping anybody. My thought is that it is helping people, but very, like, very incrementally, like very, very small. Small in terms of help, but I would say the world's suffering.
There's a lot of suffering in this world.
There is. Are you looking to do something about that?
Nope.
I heard Soren
Can't.
gave you a demo of his direct stimulation machine. How's he doing now, all on his own?
You tell me, yeah.
You tell me.
Very funny, Evelyn. Let me ask you this. Do you find his vision compelling? A world free of suffering.
Why is Rainer just being weird with me? He just feels kind of like I'm a philosopher and I need to question your every thought so I can be overwhelming with you, I guess. I think that's what it is. I'd say maybe.
Maybe.
By focusing on dreams, Soren is trying to defend his territory, the Western psychological tradition, chiefly Jung and his inheritors.
Who's Jung? I'm not familiar with it. You don't think the field has anything to offer? I'm gonna say I don't know.
I'm not familiar with it.
Well, there's no need to be. It's just a bunch of unverifiable ideas. Let's be honest. What has this field actually accomplished? Soren used to try to argue with me about this. He would claim that traditional psychoanalysis has helped thousands or tens of thousands, even millions.
I don't disagree with what Soren's saying. Is that the analyzing the brain has helped out a lot of people, and I do think that's true though, but I think that the results have been ineffective or the results haven't been really appropriate with everyone in this world because there's still a lot of insane people out there, and people aren't mentally prepared still in this world anymore. I feel like, in my point of view, not saying that everybody should probably not saying that this is the world's view, but in my perspective, I see that a lot of people are slowly losing themselves because of many factors in life, I think, from violence to negativity to just being online, like just being super into social, like, connection with other people online. And it has proven to be one of the most scariest things, is that people cannot leverage a balance in between themselves, is what I think. A lot of people don't have a good balance or a strong head for themselves. Instead, everyone's just like, I want to rely on others to teach me or get me to the place I want to get to, which is a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do if you're just not willing to reach out to those people. But at the same time, that's the hard part as well. Like, another hard part as well is just knowing yourself and knowing your limitation and being to understand that and playing that as your strength up against other people who are helping you out. And that's what I'm saying. Like, in this world, there's just a lot more craziness in this world now because of COVID, especially. It just upgrades that insanity meter by a long shot for people, and just, I don't know. I know that society won't return to normal like it used to back in 2019, but man, it's gonna be kind of crazy, I guess. Like, just the whole spiel of everything just seems to just play well into each other's problems, I guess. But anyways, continuing.
I would never dispute that directly. Instead, I would only add that professional psychics and astrologers have helped millions too.
No, psychics didn't help. Astrologers don't even help either. I just hate that people use those reasonings. Psychics and astrologers, psychics are cool. I think the idea and concepts are cool, like being able to have telepathic power, telekinesis, pyrokinesis. Funny because I delve a little bit into those, like, psychic stuff, but I feel like it's just more like a fantasy and less so of a realistic thing. Unless I can see a realistic, like, thing happen of that in person, I guess, then I probably would believe in psychics, but I don't think that's true. Psychics are never realistic. I haven't seen a realistic psychic before, so I'm always leaving it as a fantasy-based idea. As for astrologers, I just feel like it's bullcrap in my mind. But I think that Rainer's just like, I want to believe in everything as a possibility, is what he's trying to say here, I think.
Tarot cards help people all over the world every single day. That doesn't mean it's a science.
It's rather you're just trusting in fiction to decide your future, is what it's saying. But if it helps people, isn't it a good thing? Yeah, whatever. Psychology is more rigorous than you make it out to be here. It seems rash to dismiss. I think it's between these two, but I'm thinking this.
Psychology is more rigorous than you're making it out to be here.
Yes, that's exactly what he'd say. Not only did he believe psychotherapy was worthwhile, he also thought the mind was fundamentally irreducible after a certain point, as if there was some undefinable, ineffable soul inside every person. It's all part of his silly, syncretic New Age belief system. Amazing he's held on to that for so long. I keep an open mind, but saying that something can't be represented with numbers requires a high burden of proof. After all, numbers have been used to represent so very many things.
But it's true, though. I think numbers, in the case of psychology, is actually the key point to why psychology works, is that they use observation, they use actual scientific proof that they want to make sure that it's logical and realistic to the human eye, or the human brain, or the human senses. But for Raynor, it's just like, oh yeah, I just want to believe in everything. Everything works. No denying any of it. Nope. Don't even talk to me, kind of thing. It's just like Raynor just seems kind of like a one-sided like believer. Like he just doesn't care if you try to deny it or if you try to disprove it. Even if you successfully disprove it, he's not gonna give a crap about it. He's just gonna be like, nope, you're still not right because I got the money, you don't. And I think he's hiding behind the idea that he has better reputation, better money, a better sort of like position in the world, and that's why he's hiding behind that kind of thing. Soren, on the other hand, he's hiding behind his weakness, but using that weakness to leverage and power himself through to what he wants to do successfully in life. And it's interesting to see the dynamics of the two, of Soren and Raynor, trying to like do things differently and think things differently. But I'm afraid that by the end of the game, I have to sort of make a choice, I guess. I just don't want to make a choice, because it's no point in making choices. These guys made their own choices. They should see the results, and I should just be watching the results. I should be a neutral field out of this, but we'll see.
Consider the example we spoke about before. A poem. Could you evaluate a poem using numbers?
Yes.
The answer is, of course, yes. Poems are either good, mediocre, or bad. It's entirely possible to create a heuristic that reflects the difference. By aggregating a large enough sample size, we remove localized biases. It would work the same way Eliza does.
I mean, he ain't wrong. I think he's also I don't disagree with any of that, but I think the problem for that is that there's no emotion to the numbers. And that's the difference here, is that Raynor's not thinking about the emotions through numbers.
You're talking about an algorithm to evaluate poems.
Yes, I am. Algorithms can evaluate poems, and eventually, algorithms will write poems.
No, not true.
One day, algorithms will write better poems than humans ever have.
No, let me rephrase that. The previous statement is true. This statement is absolute garbage, because no human will feel that. No human will feel like it's realistic to how they feel. I haven't seen a successful algorithm generate a poem that actually makes a makes a person feel some sort of emotion, and that's the hard part, is that we will probably fail to see something that's built out of a thing, unless it's imagery or something like that. I think that is the only thing that will work, that AIs can perform way better, is just making realistic humans through generating a photograph with AI or something like that. That would make sense.
I know this sounds like a controversial opinion, Evelyn, but it's simply the truth.
No, it's not.
What would be the point of that?
It doesn't matter. There's no stopping it. If we don't take this step, others will. There are hundreds of labs working on the same or similar ideas. Everyone wants to be in this business. The business of recreating human thought in our own image. And at the end of the day, it's not about money. It's about power, control.
Hey.
Raynor, do you ever get tired of this? The constant drive to compete, to win.
Yeah.
No, I don't. This is what I do.
You never dream of just retiring somewhere and writing poetry.
Oh, there's no need for me to write poems. All
Idiot.
beauty in this world is temporary, fleeting. That's the truth that underlies poetry and every other art. The pleasures of the senses are just small bubbles on top of a vast sea of forms, sensations, perceptions, thought, awareness. I'm telling you this because it's directly relevant to the Eliza project. Soren says he can induce you to dream things, dream anything. And maybe he can. But what comes next after that? What comes after having the power to experience the dream of anything you could possibly want? You're still just as trapped as you've always been, imprisoned by your own desires. Even if someone like Soren managed to create a world for himself, his own weaknesses and negative thoughts would ruin it. He would poison his own fantasy. His utopia would crumble as soon as he finished building it.
Rainer, what are you trying to tell me?
What I'm trying to tell you is that what Soren is doing is not the answer. A dream by itself isn't enough. Take a close look at the person who chases an end to suffering, and you'll see someone who suffers greatly.
Yeah, I did kind of have that problem already. I already started seeing, like, Soren's... Like, the flaw with Soren's project was that there will eventually come to a point where somebody's going to be so delusional and stuck in that dream that they don't want to actually see any other suffering to begin with. Like, then by that point, it will lead to an actual greater depression of that person, because the person realizes, oh, crap, it's all been a dream. And I mean, that's the point, is that it's not supposed to help if they were trying to change or trying to chase after an end to suffering, because there is no such thing as that. It's just going to eventually cause somebody to deteriorate their mental health further, way further. So that's why I disagree with Soren's project. But I also I just had a thought with Soren's idea of the poem. Algorithms with a bunch of poems inside its database. Once it generates all that stuff, there's a limitation of where it hits that becomes less human, or it makes less sense of what it is, and it doesn't create any imagination. It just it stays there in that case. So the only way to improve this pool of like AI stuff for poem writing or the algorithm, is to pour more poems on top of that. But if there's no human pouring any poems into this pool, it's worthless. It's absolutely worthless. And people will get bored of it after many, many poems have been written off of this pool. Because that's the point of AI, is that you need to have enough data size and data samples to make sure that that pool stays large enough where the player, or where the reader of the poem would be like not disinterested, or at least be inspired. And that's why I'm saying there's no feeling or soul in it, because once it reaches a certain point, it becomes repetitive, or it becomes a problem in itself, in terms of what he's trying to example for the poem. And nobody's actually chasing that idea. If anything, they're chasing replication of AI being able to replicate human speech. That's the other one that I think more people are chasing. Are people doing a much more realistic chat system bot with a human being, but making sure that that kind of thing could just be like at least able to think for itself. But it's not there yet, because the AI is not smart enough to think about that yet. So at this case, it's always the one missing element, and that is, or maybe two missing elements. One is common thought, like common sense kind of thing, and second is emotion, like being able to throw an emotional like speech out to the person to understand that they actually do care, or that they do have heart in believing the idea. And that's where a lot of science fiction or robot-based movies is always like, oh, what if the robot gains feelings for something? Like Her, I guess, like the movie Her, or like Wall-E, I guess, maybe. Like, just the idea that robots having emotions is just the one thing that's missing out of this whole idea of making AI be close to what humans want, or better than humans in general. It's not gonna happen. It can't happen that easily, because it needs a lot of thought. It needs higher amounts of algorithms, and like a lot of like loopholes or plot holes or some kind of holes needs to be cut off completely in order to make sure that it is perfect to the world in some cases. But anyways, yeah, why don't you build it yourself?
Then why don't you build it yourself?
What
If
is
you're so
your
confident.
dream, Evelyn? What is it that you're working toward?
Just tell me what you want from me.
Yeah.
I've been very clear about it, haven't I?
He wants me
I'm
back.
offering you the opportunity to re-enter the field you pioneered at its very pinnacle.
God dang it.
I can build you an entirely new research lab, equipped and staffed however you want. You would have access to the world's top engineers and researchers as we continue to develop Eliza's core technologies and generalize them.
Oof.
You'd also be working with the world's most interesting data set, the input provided by the thousands of ordinary people who speak to Eliza every day. Soon, this generalized intelligence will be everywhere human beings are, hearing them, guiding them, living among them.
You and Soren have more in common than you'd want to admit.
You think we're both grandiose? Soren's idea isn't grandiose at all. It's small and unimaginative.
Same as yours, you idiot.
Think about the vision here. General artificial intelligence, indistinguishable from human intelligence at first, and then surpassing it exponentially. It's nothing short of the creation of a new type of organism, a new type of life.
Leave me alone.
And you, Eliza, could be at the very center of it.
Leave me alone. I don't like this idea anymore. Just leave me alone, Rainer. Just frickin' let me do my contract job, and then when the contract ends, I'm out. I'm out. That's what I feel right now. I just want Evelyn out of this stupid story because it's. I mean, I'm not saying the story's stupid. But I just want her out of the Rainer train and the Soren train. I just want her off those two trains and just let her think for herself, man. Everyone wants her for their grandiose plan. They want everyone to just be like, they just want Evelyn to just be like, be with us. Take this train to wherever it needs to be. It's like, she's not a conductor for anyone. She's not. She's just her own human being. She's just a passenger along for the ride. Stop it. Stop.
Eliza.
Well, I mean, Evelyn.
That was an interesting slip of the tongue.
Stop it. The Eliza project occupies much of my mind.
Freudian slip.
It clearly does.
Plus, the names are similar.
Screw you.
I'm starting to wonder why.
Evelyn, listen to me. This is the chance to lead a project that will change the world.
F you.
It would be a development on the same order as the harnessing of electricity or the semiconductor.
Not true.
It would fundamentally transform society.
No, I won't.
I'm not sure I want to transform society.
Nope.
What? Do you like the way things are now?
No,
Lie
but it's
back
not
and let
for
the
us to
sweep of
decide.
history bury you if you want, Evelyn.
It's not for us to decide as human beings on how to control others to make society better. If anything, and actually no, it is up to us to decide how society could be better. But that's only because we can change them through rules and laws, but also kind of providing programs that is like not in this space, but other spaces that will help generate that help, not through apps.
Just know
Alone.
you'll never have a chance like this again.
I hate this. All right, I'm gonna stop here because we're over time a little bit, or a good chunk. But thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next episode or Nobody Minds, and hope you guys have a great, amazing day, weekend, nights, or whenever watching this. This is it for now. I am sure we're closing in on the end of this game. We are about probably an hour or so, like an hour-ish of this game left in terms of like reading through the whole thing or going through the whole thing. But yeah, we're just coming down the line. We're coming down to the pipe. I'm guessing we're probably gonna have to make a decision at the end to either work with Soren or Rainer or none of the two. That's what I'm thinking, but I might be wrong. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see what happens next. I have no clue what's gonna happen next, but we'll see if that will come with whatever, I guess. Yeah. All right. Anyways, Roz out.